What is up, my Shadowverse soldiers, and welcome back to another Shadowverse Evolved video. Alright soldiers, in today's video we're going to be looking at the highlights from the world's final Shadowverse Evolved Championship. Yes, I was able to watch it along with everybody else on Friday. I stayed up until 5 in the morning to watch it. Yes, I'm crazy. But I managed to watch it all the way through. It was a beautiful event. Of course, there are things that we can improve on. I believe I've been saying that before, but outside of that, I enjoyed watching it. I liked watching the high-level gameplay, of course, a couple of rounds. I did kind of see a little bit of low-level gameplay, but, you know, in the future, I do want to make some videos that I do have a plan towards in, like, making note-taking things, so maybe people can watch it on the way going to, like, a regional or something, you know, brush up on certain deck archetypes or certain playstyles that you need to make just to survive. I think one of the misplays did make the highlights in this video here, so look out for it. If you're not too busy, I appreciate if you leave a like, comment, and subscribe at the end. I appreciate if you watch it all the way through. If you don't, feel free to not watch the video. I appreciate you guys just clicking on the video to begin with. And alright soldiers, before we get into the video, I wanted to have a nice little sit down talk with you all. So, Shadowverse Evolve is going in a very weird place with this release schedule. This is a big thing because we're going to look very different from JP. So eyes are kind of on us, but there is something going around with a Google Forms. I will put it in the description here. Please fill that out. If you can get your voice heard and we can all be heard as a community and we can make any change to let, hey, you know, we don't like this, we don't like that. If we do this, then this is going to happen. So everything's going to have a cause and effect. So maybe our voices can be heard since we already had a little special vote campaign that already passed. You know, we were able to make our votes for a new special card for English. So maybe with this Google form that's unofficial, by the way. So don't put all your eggs in one basket and, you know, hoping the Google forms will work out. But hopefully with this Google forms, we'll be able to reach out to somebody that can really like help us out. I'm not saying Shadowverse Evolve is going to go in a very bad place with the release schedule that's happening. I just know things are going to be different. It's going to be pretty tough. In the highlights video, I do talk about it, so I will give a spoiler about that. I do have my standpoint on it where I go more into depth about it, but I want you guys to really, you know, figure out what you want to do. I really enjoy this card game. I'm going to stick around. Of course, I'm going to sign the Google Forms too and give my input. I really don't have a standpoint on it all yet because I haven't really absorbed it all because stuff's been happening outside of card games, but I really still want to give you guys content. So if the release schedule is still going to happen, I'm going to do double the work. I'm going to make sure you guys have the reveals, you know, what the cards are going to do. I like talking about the cards. I also love playing with the cards. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this video that I have full of the world's finals. Like I said, I will put the Google Forms in the comments below or the description, probably both honestly, so everyone can see it. But if you want me to go in more depth about how I think about it outside of the highlight video that I have later on, then just put a comment below, just let me know, and get the communication going. By the way, I'm changing the Reddit questions to every other week. I don't have a question for you guys all every weekend because I realize that's a lot of stress. I know I just am rambling here a little bit, but I just wanted to talk with you guys all and just touch base and see what's going on in your guys' head. You know, just let me know what's going on in the comments and how you guys feel about it, because I know this is going to be very different for us. But alright soldiers, that's enough of me rambling. I appreciate you being very patient with the little conversation we just had. This is highlights that I recorded over the period of time, so hope you all enjoy it. Okay, alright, so I guess this is where I should do like a cut for like a video for the little recap. So we just watched round 3. It was Lashena versus Puppet Forest. Lashena did not get rid of the fairy when they needed to, and that fairy swung at them for a total of 7 damage, which in fact is something we need to worry about. Is I And I second guessed myself. I shouldn't have second guessed myself when I was watching it, because I sure enough said, when you're playing Rune, negate as much damage as possible. And Florals took 3, and I said, okay, so there's got to be a method to the madness here. There's got to be a method to the madness. And I watched them take 3, play Merlin, not get rid of the card, By the way, Truth's Adjudication was in hand. I'm sorry to fill in. Truth's Adjudication was in hand, which also burns a follower for 3, which the follower was a 3/3 evolved. PSA. So I'm just trying to get an understanding why we didn't do that. And then, mind you, we're on turn 4 and we're going second. So, you still could have gotten the best of both worlds if you just spent 3 on the Truth Adjudication to not even draw 2, but to just deal 3 to the follower, then play Merlin the next turn and not take 3 damage. You didn't have to take 3 damage. Like, all for that simple misplay you didn't get to play. I think that was sound reasoning. I just don't know what's going on. It's probably just early. It's probably early over there, and I understand. I've misplayed on I misplayed at Philly. I misplayed at Philly, but I was playing Sword and not Rune. But Rune's the baby. Oh, we got a notification on the app that they were live for Worlds. That's neat. We're being tracked, guys. What the hell? Is Kriko playing Dragon? What? I'm. Yo. Yo, Kriko made me eat my words. I thought Kriko was playing Abyss. Is this Dragonic Duelist? You're no way. I think Rune has a gingerbread house. Gingerbread and putting the to 15 is crazy. Yikes. Table's just been turned around. Like. That's GG's. That's our gut. That's Kriko. That's Kriko. That's my boy Kriko. That's Kriko. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is Kriko all the way. Oh my gosh, that's my goat. That's my goat. That's my goat. That is my goat, Kriko. Getting on stream and taking names. Like, we love to see it. We love to see it. We got Noah. Well, we're gonna swing one at a time, of course. Yeah, there's a brush in here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, yo. Yo! Like, yo, okay, yeah, it's official. I'm dropping videos to tell people, because this is crazy. This is crazy. You should have known that was the wrong play. You could have pushed more damage. You could have pushed more. Yo. I'm sorry, Rika. Let me answer your question real quick. Make sure audio's all right. Okay. All right. So, what do I think about the stack sets? We definitely need to catch up to JP, because if we just have like when we need to catch up to JP. Where they're slowly, I don't even know if JP's on a hiatus. Like, I know there's stuff coming out, but I guess they really need to catch up with these projects, because like we've known about the beach set since what, like set 4? We've known about the beach set since set 4, so I'm thinking they're just like colliding these sets. So one, we'll have like a different meta for Shadowverse Evolved English, so it's not just clear cut. Because as you can see in the last example that we had here, Krika was able to like perform with Dragonic Duelist, and I heard Dragonic Duelist was a deck that did pop up in set 10. But I'm wondering if like it was just super power crept because like a set 10 deck was doing well in set 9. Granted, I know you need that neutral card from set 10 because I see it in a lot of the builds, but you know, without it. And it's like, I think the deck is pretty like decent too. With all those just like tribal things. So now on the downside, I will say, is pull rarities. I remember hearing as set 9 came out, if you don't get splits, then if you just pull off of boxes, you're probably going to be really like in a bad spot. Just because, like, let's say you want something from a specific class and you just want to pull off of boxes. Well, the chances of you pulling what you need is just going to be less because now we have more cards in like the same sets or stuff like that. Like, I just wonder how they're going to maneuver it. If they're going to do what they did with like Dragonic Duelist and Academics, like a whole bunch of people were saying, oh, I need Dragonic Duelist stuff or I need academic stuff, because like that was the least amount of stuff that they pulled. So if they're going to put in mix and match these like cards and sets and stuff like that, they need to definitely at least like make the pull rates just a little bit better. I know they have a new version of like a card and whatnot, and that's cool. I like the new design, but I honestly think that we definitely should get at least like the pull rate should be a little bit more consistent or a little bit better. But I'm also not like a huge box puller. That's just what I've heard. So I can't make like cement like concrete details. Yeah, the 1 month gap, the 1 month gap. Oh my goodness, like it. All right, so here's the thing. Because Dragon Ball did it for a little bit. So when we had a set that came out like a little bit in between the month, like it was terrible at locals. Like he didn't know how many boxes to get. He didn't know if the set was gonna be any good. Like it's crazy. They said they were gonna make it a little easier for distributors, and I'm hoping that they do, because that's the only way our game's gonna get more popular is we have product and people can get their product. And, you know, keep marketing the game that we are, and eventually, like, I mean, I love Shadowverse Evolved. It's a pretty good game. Yeah, double flipple evos. Whew. I'm glad I didn't need Orcus. Like, I'm glad I didn't play Puppet, because goodness gracious, Orcus was expensive. Like, I thought Technolords and Viridias were expensive. Nah, it's like pale in comparison to Orcus when she got dropped. Okay, I mean, yeah, we could get a double up there, because I mean, people who want the Uma stuff are going to get the Uma stuff. Like, and I'm not super sure if like the beach meta like is like the cards are really meta. I didn't really keep track of that, so I think it'll be interesting. It'll definitely shake things up, I will say. Like meta wise and comp wise for Shadowverse Evolve, I think it'll be very interesting that we have multiple sets out at the same time. And there's just gonna be a plethora of like just a playing field, and maybe that's what they kind of played around with doing Dragonic Duelist and Academics being put in set 9. Yeah, they did release the schedule. I am glad they released the schedule. It's just I need it to be on the website. Like this thing up here, I needed to be on this website. I gotta have it on this website because Worlds is happening, and as you can see, I said it in my last video. Like there's not a single thing about Worlds in the news, not the most like recent 4. Like you have to go over and just like look at the English conference, which takes you, funny enough, if you click it, it takes you right to the Vanguard link. So that's a double entendre on top of that. So I mean, they need to do better by this website because this is like our main source of information for our game. But I guess I'm just gonna have to, bellow up and down. All right, so, all right, review time, review time. All right, so what we saw from the RuneCraft player here was that they went for the big play with this Sarah Join, the Mirror Truth play. So here is how I would have played that turn. I would have swung Riley into that big Vania, killed Riley. I would have used the 2-cost card to get Riley out of Cemetery to use Earthright stack to get all 3 of those things. Draw 2 cards, deal 5 to the bat or whatever you need to do. Riley's already a 6, so you don't have to worry about that. Like, I think that was more of the play to go. And then the next turn, you still have the 2-cost card that's going to deal 4 to something and then deal it 2 damage. So if you go for another Saber Join, you don't have to go for that play. And you probably could have looped Riley. But I think that false turn. I think the difference between Earthright players is the false turn. Definitely what you get off of Faust. Oh my gosh, if for that deck, either limit Anastasia to 1 or limit a Heartless Battle. I mean, I don't know. I think limiting Anastasia to 1 because she just gives you so many play points. Just the way it needs to go. Yeah, hit Anastasia to 1 because it just messes with that deck's consistency there. So everyone's begging for top 8. 2-hour top cut break? No way it's been 2 hours. There's no way. I know Daniel was making videos, but like, yeah, that was a hard fought match for finals last year. That was a hard fought match. Force versus Dragon. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people, well, at least people who are on stream were making some misplays. So I have lots of work to do to get everybody on the same page, because it seems like not everybody knows the correct plays, and I definitely do think that people need to get used to be mentally adjusted into being into that competitive format, because definitely the air is different. You know, if your opponent gets a little upset at you, you can definitely, like, they say something in the wrong tone or you catch something like in a wrong vibe, that can definitely get inside your head, and you know, you could play differently. So it's all about mental strength. Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure the world's prizing low-key is in like all that. I'm like seeing everything from from the conference here, seeing the spring conference. I will say that the other games are eating a lot better than Shadowverse Evolve. I will say that the other games are eating a little bit better, but they have been around a lot longer. So we're only in our second year. So you know, they're still getting a feel of how to do everything for Shadowverse Evolve, especially when they're doing things so differently. Like it's like they're trying to go on a separate track. It's like they're trying to go on a separate track than what they were doing originally, which is nice because we have like a whole different perspective on Shadowverse Evolve English meta. So we already know what cards are going to be out, but you know, it's going to be completely different because we have like cards like Dragonic Duelist and Academics coming out in set 9 when they're supposed to be in set 10. What I'm really curious about with all the announcements and everything is what are these prices going to look like? Because if Vania was expensive as she was here, and she's not represented like she should be for how much she should cost, like it's just like, where do you get the projection of the numbers? How do you know that everybody's going to want like Vania's like? Because honestly, like Faust and Saradwin and Riley should be high cost cards, which I think they are because, you know, Earthright was like the deck most played here. So, I mean, but everybody, every time I went into the rune discussion, everybody was cooking with the dirt list, even before set 9. So, it seems like people are really looking forward to playing dirt. Like, I'm glad rune is represented, but where was everybody when Kuon was out? It just feels like Kuon was more traditional rune than like dirt is, and I will preach that. I'll preach that. Maybe because I'm a little bit biased because I like D-shift a whole bunch, but we're definitely gonna have to stick it out for sure, because you know, there isn't already that much people playing the game anyways, because as a content creator, I know every time I see in the comments or in the videos, someone's always telling me, hey, I'm new to the game, hey, I'm new to the game, hey, I'm new to the game. And then when you put out like a whole bunch of product so soon, when like people are still coming in, like people are still walking in the door, that doesn't mean for you to hit the fast forward button. Yeah, and then like Worlds Beyond is like its own separate thing too, because like who's to say I can just put down Shadowverse Evolve and just go play Worlds Beyond and have a like hoping that Worlds Beyond has like a really good free-to-play experience. I'm hoping it has a really good free-to-play experience, because if it does, then I could honestly just drop Evolve and just start doing Worlds Beyond stuff. But I love Evolve a whole bunch because it's just physical. Yeah, a set every month is kind of crazy, and especially when product is already so hard to like get. So like, why don't we just fix the issues we already have and like build on that? Because all I hear is how, or at least whenever I play with my EU friends, like they talk about how like they have to get their cards off a secondary way, or like their shop just doesn't have their stuff. Like, we need to really fix the borders on that. I feel like if the stack sets are definitely gonna burn people out. Like, I think only the strongest are gonna survive, and the people who want to play Shadowverse Evolve are gonna play Shadowverse Evolve. And I don't want it to go in that direction. I don't want that to go in that direction at all, because we need as many players as we can. Like, I mean, I just hope it's not like this video game thing where they're gonna increase the prices and like just to make it card games just like a luxury too. I mean, of course they're not like, I don't know, maybe Nintendo might have started a movement on all games worldwide, not just consoles and stuff. Oh, please, not 2 formats? Nah, because that would be wicked. That would be wicked. Man, that was Worlds. That's when it. I almost made the call. I almost made the call on Reddit. I almost made the call, but I didn't. All right. So overall synopsis of everything. I want to say, well, in this section of the video, if I do clip it in here, thank you for watching till the end. This was an amazing experience to watch. I think it was very nice to watch everything. The lunch break was a bit long, but I mean, honestly, they definitely said if you live on the East Coast, eat rocks. Like, if y'all didn't hear me say that earlier, and like, they definitely said eat rocks, because that was insane. It's like right now it's about to be 6 a.m. and this is definitely memorable because like they had the ad thing that they did last year where they just kept playing the same ads over and over again during the lunch break when they could have just played somebody's video, or they just could have kept that chill music going. We didn't have a bracket until top 8, and not until after round 1 of top 8, which, you know, I feel like we should have known what people's records were or what the win percentages were, because somebody in the chat was definitely talking about that, so we definitely missed out on that. I think that's what the main thing was from last year that they didn't do this year, which I'm sad about. But looking at the meta, we did have I think we saw every craft on stream. I think we saw every craft on stream except Haven. We didn't see Haven. Orange did say there was like one Haven running around. I don't know if there was multiple Amulet Havens, because that is the better Haven deck instead of Ward, but you know, let's talk for another day, I guess. But yeah, every deck was represented besides Haven, so it felt pretty colorful. Now the deck most represented was definitely Earthright. So I guess Wigs made the right meta call for Earthright being super popular and like the best deck. Pretty consistent. I think everyone did kind of just like lean towards the Faust cushion. That, you know, Faust gets you those 2 good cards and they could be whatever the situation goes for, and then you have Medusa, which gets you the answer to like Angelic Barrage, which is, you know, the matchup for puppets and the matchup for vampires. So I'm glad that Wiggs was able to make that call, because definitely playing low to the ground like that and Rune not having anything like that to like just deal with those low to the ground bats on turn 4 is definitely very good. Now, in an alternative reality, because Kuon actually got in the top 8 in an alternative reality, I think it would have been a very interesting match to watch Kuon versus vampires. It honestly, looking at it, it would definitely lean towards Kuon, but you got to realize they have to get to the late game, and you know, just a prolonged game and just drawing cards with Unleash the Nightmare. I'm sorry if I'm not like 100% here. I am tired. I'm tired. But I had a good time watching. Definitely seeing some misplays at World shows that not even in the highest level of Shadowverse play, there still can be misplays. Like, so I really enjoyed watching everyone try their best to win the crown. But there can only be one winner at the end of the day. And that goes to Wiggs. Congratulations, Wiggs. Any other final thoughts? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna... They definitely did better on the music, like, because it's been pretty chill. So, but I don't think I have anything else. If I can think of something, I'll probably post it in the video, like tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then I'm doing it on Monday. This has got to be a weekend assignment, because this is 8 hours worth of footage that I'm gonna have to edit through and like check and like make bookmarks for. So it's definitely gonna be a highlight. I hope I don't get in any trouble for streaming this and then like reposting it, because that would suck. But alright, soldiers, thank you so much for watching. I am going to go to bed, and I'm glad we have a new champion for the 2025 year. I'm glad we had our announcements. We'll be doing a review of the announcements next week for sure. in case you missed it, and then we'll be doing a video on the recap. And then after we do the video on the recap, we're probably going to go to casual Shadowverse videos. And then if the casual Shadowverse videos probably don't do well, we're probably just going to do the note-taking. I'm definitely going to do that note-taking video for this Worlds. I didn't plan on doing it last year, but this year I'm making it. I'm like writing it down. I'm definitely doing the note-taking video. That's got to happen. But alright, soldiers, y'all take it easy. I hope you're safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, soldiers, I hope you all enjoyed that video. Thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure to edit that video because goodness gracious, it was long. I'm sorry it took so long for it to release. I've just been very busy lately, so I appreciate you all being very patient with me. But alright, soldiers, make sure you're safe in whatever you do tonight and safe whatever you do for the rest of the year. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Yeah. TRINN. Just to get you away. What I got to do, what I got to do.